I'm Jason Taylor. This is my booth here at the Vancouver Flea Market. I sell sports collectibles and Superman, Batman memorabilia. If anybody is interested in buying anything, come and see me here at the Vancouver Flea Market on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 to 5. I'm glad to help you out if you're coming down, and I'll give you a good deal on anything that you're looking for.
Aha! That's what I'm looking for. So now that I got my new t-shirt, I thought it would be a good time to test this puppy out. So here's a workout I'm going to do some shoulders here and a little bit of triceps and some legs. So thank God the Superman shirt paid off, otherwise I wouldn't be alive to be able to do this workout for you. So hey, who knew, eh? Who knew t-shirts would work like that? But here we go. I'm just messing around with some 50-pound dumbbells here. You know, I don't always show my warm-ups because I think maybe it's boring for people to watch. But I'm just going to show you a few of my light sets here. You know, a lot of times I start with a really lightweight, you know, something that I can do easily 40, 50 reps with. And I just find whatever range of motion feels right for me. You know, sometimes I'll rotate my hands inward out, you know, supinate, to find the proper stretch in the delt and the bicep tendons that cross the shoulder joint. And, you know, sometimes I'll experiment with a little bit lower range of motion, you know, a little bit larger range of motion. Basically, I'll bring the dumbbells down a little further, and then I'll go up a little further. Sometimes I'll rotate, as you can see, I rotate them in a little bit sometimes. And this is all just a part of the warm-up process, just to get everything kind of fired up and to get everything flexible and the blood in there. And I'll also do slow reps, or I'll just you know, hold the weight just stable at the bottom and just pause there, you know, and also talk. As you can see, I'm always talking. So in between sets, I'm always talking with everybody in the gym. I mean, half the time I think that it would be better probably for me to do a video where I'm just harassing people in the gym, because I spend a lot of time doing that, you know, trash talking in a friendly sort of way, but and really my trash talk knows no limits. I mean, it doesn't matter young or old, I'm talking constantly. But it's good, you know. I like to communicate with people in the gym and like to have fun talking to them, so it makes the gym experience more fun for me. Otherwise, I just train at home in my garage, you know. But as you can see here, I'm just messing around with different ranges of motion. I'll do shorter ranges of motion because I find that I feel that right on the deltoid. Okay, when I come all the way up, and you will see I'll do some reps like that for you too, just to show you I can do them. I start to feel the stress more in my neck muscles. I'm not actually feeling it on the delt anymore. You know, so I'm giving you some real Hollywood angles here. See, I gave you a different angle. That's pretty good, eh? You almost think that I have two cameras, huh? So here I am, just the standard range of motion. Here I am, and now I'm coming up a little higher, and then I'm just resting. But it's really fun to change your angles up and change your ranges of motion up and see what do you actually feel. And I know I talk about this all the time, so it's probably boring for you to listen to now, but it's really fun to actually see what ranges of motion are really hitting different muscle groups and how you're feeling it in the body and what kind of gains you're getting. So here's a set where I'm going all the way up and all the way down, and I know it looks great. It is a real pleasant rep to look at. I mean, it's a work of art right there, especially with my Superman shirt on and the nice blue and everything. I just love that. But I find that when I do reps like this, I actually feel my delt more. My delt actually seems to take more of the stress, and I don't actually transfer the stress to my neck. So go figure, right? So experiment with that and see how it feels for you. It's something that I found a long time ago, and this is why I do the reps that I do. You know, I really perform the repetitions where I feel it in the muscle that I'm looking to hit. So here's some lateral raises, and it's not a really great angle, but I changed the angles around anyway for you. I just really like the lighting here. It's almost like I've got a halo because the sunlight coming in is like, oh. But anyway, here's another angle here, just a standard lateral raise. And, you know, I have my arms slightly bent, and it's hard to tell in this angle. You know, they look a little bit more bent than they are actually, just because of the angle of the camera. But the bottom line is that I lift the dumbbells as high up as my shoulders will let me go, and you know, without jamming anything, and keep them rotated in, and it really hits the side delts. You know, it's pretty much a standard exercise. Everybody does this exercise. It's just, everybody knows how to do it pretty much. But constant tension is the key. And you know, you got to stretch out sometimes, and then you just got to stand there with your shirt on. That's it. You know, why would you even work out if you're not going to get a chance to just stand there with a Superman logo on your chest? So that's what the point of that was, I guess. Anyway, here's some triceps here. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a giant set. And I like giant sets sometimes just to shock the system up, especially with triceps, because, you know, tricep means 3 different muscle heads, right? So when I'm doing one exercise or another, different tricep heads are actually getting hit. And it's pretty easy to miss a head, you know, here and there. So say you're doing press downs, or you're doing French curls, or you're doing close grip bench, there's different heads that are being hit. So sometimes it's nice to combine 2 different exercises together, so you're actually hitting fatigue in more areas of the tricep. So I'm just warming up with just 20 pounders here, just nice and easy. And then I go up a little bit weight. I think this is a 35s here. I think 30s or 35s. And the whole point of this exercise, I find, is to stretch it out, is to get a nice stretch in the long head of the tricep. That's why I'm on an incline. I find it's the best range for me. When I'm on a flat, I still do flat skull crushers from time to time, but I do find the incline seems to give me that extra little bit of stretch in the long head, and I find that I get a nice burn on my triceps, and my triceps seem to fatigue more so than I guess you could say it this way. Some exercises, you notice that the burn and the fatigue in the muscle actually stops the set, but other times it's almost like there's almost like a dead muscle. It's like you actually just can't continue the set, and you don't know why. It's almost like you just can't activate the muscle. I find certain angles are more conducive to getting that nice burn and that nice fatigue deep in the muscle, whereas other angles, it's almost like you get a nervous system fatigue. It's almost like there's a coordination breakdown or something. So sometimes I'll choose exercises based on that principle. So here I am, I'm doing another set here, and I've got my Eye of Wisdom tank top on that I just ordered. So if you guys are interested in that kind of tank top or whatever, you can check out the store. I've got the link down below. But here I am doing the French curl or skull crusher, and then I'm going to go right to close grip bench. So you'll see me go right over the close grip here. And I've got lighter weight on there. I could do much heavier for close grip, but because I'm doing a giant set, of course, you know, you use a little bit lighter weight, right? And I've talked about in one of my other videos the reason why I do close grip the way I do. I have the elbows flared out, and I'm just looking to bend the elbows at about 90 degrees and then extend up until I feel the stress start to transfer over to my chest and to my delts, right? I'm trying to keep the stress right on the triceps. I know you might think that, oh, okay, if you lock the arms out all the way at the top, that would be best, but this is the way I actually feel my triceps the most. If I come higher than that, I start to activate chest and shoulder more, so I don't feel it as much. So anyway, I ended my workout off with some Romanian deadlifts. Now, I don't do powerlifting deadlifts because I find they just aren't really right for me. I know that we got a bunch of powerlifters out there or people that deadlift and say, oh no, you just got to correct this, correct that, whatever. I've been training for 26 years, and I'm going to tell you right now that the Romanian deadlift feels right for me, and that's why I do it. And I really like it. I mean, I keep my back arched. And one thing I've noticed is that I've got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. So when I bend over at 90 degrees at the waist, you know, the average dude probably is already deadlifting from the floor. But my bar, when I'm deadlifting, is nowhere near the floor. So that might be part of the reason why I don't like powerlifting deadlifts from the floor. But yeah, I'm careful with these type of deadlifts to really warm up, because your hamstrings do take a little bit of a beating. So you want to make sure that your hamstring attachments and insertion points and origins are really warmed up. And it's important to see, and you can't really see this here, so I will do a Romanian deadlift video, like a tutorial. But it's important to note that I have my knees bent. They're slightly bent when I'm doing this. So I'm feeling the exercise in the muscle belly itself, not in the knee joint, right behind the knee. If you're feeling the exercise there, that means you need to bend the knees a little bit more. Okay, so you arch your back and you bend the knees. That's the most important thing. If you're locking the knees, like a lot of guys do stiff-legged deadlifts and they round their back, and I mean, I know a lot of guys have torn their hamstrings doing this. I really don't recommend that as a good exercise for hamstrings. I mean, some people can get away with doing it, but for me, I always found it unsafe, because you're locking the joint out, and the hamstring is a power muscle already. It's your sprinting muscle. It's where a lot of your power is, and the more powerful a muscle is, the more susceptible it is to injury, especially when you're using maximum weights. But it also is a great muscle to work if you want muscle growth and gains, right? So I'm going to show you a couple Hollywood angles here, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. This is a neat angle, and right here, so you can see how far over I'm bending over, right? So I'm getting a nice stretch of my hamstrings. You can see my knees are slightly bent. And it's great. It feels just great, and it's a great exercise to do if you have trouble keeping your back arched when you're squatting or when you're lunging or anything, because it really teaches you to keep your rotation around the hips without rounding your back. So thanks for listening, and make sure you tune in next time.